Welcome to DNA's Birding Adventures. We're back in Colorado for some high elevation birding up at Rocky Mountain National Park and Estes Park. We're looking for some ptarmigans, American pipits, and some other high altitude birds to add to our 2024 list. Be sure to check out our last couple videos from Wyoming in the high alpine tundra there as well, looking for birds and having a great time. In this video, we'll make several stops starting above 12,000 feet at Medicine Bow Curve, and then lava cliffs, looking for the highest elevation breeding of prairie falcons. At even higher elevation, we'll take the Mushroom Rocks Trail, still looking for ptarmigans and other birds in 50-mile-an-hour winds. It was crazy. Then we head down the hill and find a nice surprise on this Boardwalk Trail to add to our list. Then to Estes Park, Matthews Reser, and to end it all, one of our favorite restaurants, La Cocina de Mama, for lunch. Yum! Here we go. We're up above 12,000 feet at Medicine Bow Curve. It's just on the other side of the Continental Divide. It's a great spot for spotting ptarmigan, pipits, moose, elk. American pipits. Yay, we finally got one. We've been searching for an American pipit all year. They're actually fairly common. They do spend their summers up high in elevation. And here we are. We've got one for 2024 finally. And they were in abundance, probably 12 or 15. American pipit, pretty drab, but pretty resilient. Bird number 286. Now we're on the lookout for the white-tailed ptarmigan. They should be in their summer colors. In the winter, they turn all white as camouflage. And this is kind of where we saw them last year. And look at these beautiful Arctic gentians. There were a whole bunch of them out. The foliage in the tundra is so fragile, you have to be real careful to either stay on the trail or walk on rocks to make sure you don't damage the very fragile terrain. Dave and I split up looking for the ptarmigan. I went up and he went down to this little patch of foliage and actually saw a Cooper's hawk. We both saw it flying into the bushes, so that all the birds were gone for a while. No ptarmigan yet. This is their area they like. There's Dave. This is the same area that we saw this last year, the white-tailed ptarmigan. Its plumage changes from white to brown depending on the season. In the winter, of course, would be white, and now it's halfway in between. Completely camouflaged. It looks just like a rock. We didn't see one, but we're not going to give up. We'll keep looking. You can always rely on the white-crowned sparrows to be lurking in the bushes up at high tundra. And then also they come to our house at a little lower elevation for the winter. White-crowned sparrows, right there, in that tree, right there, yeah. Taking shelter from the wind. They're probably getting ready to head to a lower elevation right now. Then we headed to the lava cliffs on the way. We saw some bull elk that were on one side of the hill and the females were on the other. They too will move down in the winter, so the grass is plentiful for now. Their antlers are quite impressive. They're getting ready for the rut where they corral the girls in the fall, and they'll all be together again. Next stop, Lava Cliffs. This is where the highest elevation of prairie falcons nest. We actually saw 2 prairie falcons flying below the road. We saw plenty of marmots that were tooling around, stocking up for the winter. Our trip wouldn't be complete without one of these guys. Our next stop, Mushroom Rocks Trail. The storm started coming in and the wind was ripping, but we were still adamant about trying to find a white-tailed ptarmigan. Here comes the storm. It's probably gonna snow up here. There's a pika. They're so cute and camouflaged. They do not hibernate, unlike the marmot who spend half their lives in hibernation. They just stock up quite a bit and live through the winter, through the harsh conditions. Right now they're eating a lot of the seeds and mosses and some of the waning flowers that are scattered throughout the tundra. The high alpine tundra flowers are quite unique and usually not very tall. They can barely withstand it. There's not much oxygen. They have a short growing season, which makes them fairly fragile. Hey, we made it to the Mushroom Rocks, which used to be at the bottom of the ocean, made of sand, silt, and clay for the top section, and then the bottom section, the heat and pressure turned it into granite. Okay, we're going to head back down the hill. We did get 4 different tundra birds, including one first of the year, the American pipit. Now we're heading to the Boardwalk Trail down in lower elevation for another surprise. It's a little area where there's sometimes moose. We saw a moose in here before. There's our stream. Looks like moose tracks that go across in there. Okay, there's a family of red-nailed red-naped sapsuckers right in here. Heard them calling first, and then a hummingbird came by, and there's a robin taking a bath. Oh, there he is. I think they were nesting in here. I read that they nest in the montane area, which would be here, and they like the aspens and willows to breed in, and this was abundant with willow. The red-naped sapsuckers look similar to the yellow-bellied sapsuckers, which barely overlap in their range. They have a long white wing patch that helps distinguish them from the hairy and the downy woodpeckers, which are also in this area. It's first of the year for us, red-naped sapsucker. Kind of near where that boardwalk trail was is the Endo Valley picnic area and trail. We'll take a break there and find some more birds. These ruby-crowned kinglets are so cute, and this is their distinguishing little spot on the back of their heads. This is a picture Dave took from Texas. Just as adorable, white-breasted nuthatches and the red-breasted nuthatches. Here he is. Kind of a rickety bridge here. At Endo Valley.
Where's the bee going?
I don't know. I see the butterfly. Oh, there he is. Right below it. My pollen. No, my pollen. It's nice to see this police car moth. We've seen one before, but then we saw this right next to it, the bristlefly. Kind of vying for position on these asters. This dragonfly, the red rock skimmer, is new for Dave and me, and apparently not supposed to be here. A lot of the fruits and seeds are out for the wildlife to stock up on for the winter. These are beautiful. Some are edible, some are not. Be careful. We have not not seen a moose yet on this trip, but we did see evidence with the dung and these antlers. They looked really old. Of course, you have to leave everything in the national parks. Heading out to Estes Park, we saw some mule deer. And we're on our way to Matthews Reser Bird Sanctuary in Estes Park to look for some more birds that have been spotted. We got all sorts of birds in our first part of this trip. Next stop, Estes Park, Matthews Reser. The park is situated right along a golf course, the Big Thompson River, and Estes Lake. Saw some usual suspects, including a couple osprey, which were hanging out and flying around, as well as some birds getting ready to migrate. The swallows haven't left yet. Dave and I have learned to not take for granted what you see. Sometimes it's a different bird. At first, we thought, well, maybe this is a black-chinned hummingbird, and it turned out to be a broad-tailed. They like the nectar, but at this time of year, they're also looking for little insects to add protein to their diet for their long migration. And then we were pretty sure these were the brewer's blackbirds, and then one looked a little bit different. At this time of year, there are immature birds too, which call and look like other birds. The rusty blackbird looks very similar to this brewer's blackbird.
Is it?
Another mistaken identity. It's so hard to tell the female mallards from the Mexican ducks. We're pretty sure these are the female mallards, but quite often the Mexican ducks actually are spotted in Colorado, even though they're rare.
Also barn swallows and violet green swallows flying around there. We're looking for the Cape May. It was spotted here this morning. Cape May warbler. Spotted sandpiper.
Another mistaken identity. The solitary sandpiper has a little bit longer beak and spots and lines along the back, and it does not have the orange on the beak like the spotted. And a new bird for 2024, solitary sandpiper.
Cedar waxwings. We saw a mallard. We thought it was a Mexican duck, maybe. This is yellow-rump warblers, Wilson's warblers, ruby crown kinglets, cedar waxwings, and here Matthews Reser Sanctuary. Yellow-rumped warbler.
We have some wax currants that are producing berries right now, and there's a lot of cedar waxwings at our house too. We're hoping to get a olive-sided flycatcher up in Wyoming, but happened to get one here.
Olive-sided flycatcher. They look like they're wearing little vests.
"15 species just in Matthews Reser Bird Sanctuary, along with 5 new birds for 2024, including the yellow-breasted chat we saw at our house. It's not a big year like some, but we are trying to get at least 300 birds for 2024. Thank you so much for watching DNA's Birding Adventures, subscribing to our channel, and happy birding trails to you. Until next time.